NRL Auckland 9's. Some fans coming into the house early to get prime position to see some of their favourite players go around. The Sharks up against the Bulldogs to kick things off this morning. The Sharks yesterday beaten by the Titans 25 points to 4, and the Panthers 16-14. Well, the Bulldogs also 0-2 on day one. They were beaten by the Panthers 28-18, and the Titans 17 points to 10. So there's the Waiheke group. The Titans and the Panthers are through to the quarterfinals. Only top spot to be decided. That will be in game 2 today when they both meet to work out who will be seeded 1 from that particular pool to take on the number 2 seed from the pool, which will have both the Eels and the Sea Eagles advancing. Brandy, a fascinating day ahead here in Auckland.
Yeah, it certainly is. It was obvious yesterday the sides that came over here with strong squads are the ones to beat. I mentioned the Cowboys, the Eels, the Brisbane Broncos, with some of the players that Wayne Bennett has over, will be tough to beat. The Sharks and the Dogs in the opening game of day 2, well, they're just playing, hoping that they don't leave New Zealand without a win.
Well, they only have 3 wins in the history of the NRL Auckland 9's. The Bulldogs trying for number 4 right here against the Sharks. A number of stars from both squads being rested for this game, with the NRL season on the horizon, of course. But Josh Reynolds and David Klemmer, who sat yesterday and watched both games, are actually on the field to begin this game today.
Yeah, the Stars rested, the Sharks have rested some of their players. Joseph Paulo will be shouldering the responsibility of getting this team around the park and ball playing for them. Young Kyle Flanagan, who just popped up, of course the son of the coach, Shane.
Plenty of the playmaking in this game. As far as the responsibilities for the Sharks will fall to Joseph Paulo. And Matt Frawley, with Josh Reynolds alongside him, will get things underway. The Bulldogs against the Sharks. Day 2 of the 2017 Auckland 9's, and Kurt Capewell comes up with possession for the Sharks. They'll play it here about 15 short of the halfway line. There is Paulo at first receiver, and some good contact coming up very quickly to make a tackle for the Bulldogs. David Klemmer, who is almost unrecognisable in a full head of hair and beard, Brandy.
Well, it was tough to spot up Sam Cassiano yesterday without the beard. Vice versa, we've got David Klemmer that's gone away with the shaved head. He's got a head of hair and a beard. So the Bulldogs front rowers mixing it up in terms of their looks this year.
Paulo looking to his left-hand side, but Klemmer came up quickly and herded him back towards the short side. The kick in behind doesn't find the in-goal area, and the Bulldogs will work it away here through Danny Fualalo. Some solid contact there. Matt Pryor coming up very quickly. Malachi Huma also. They'll play it there for Frawley. They'll work it away up towards their 20. Both these teams winless on day 1 yesterday. Reynolds jumping in there to dummy half. Here is Klemmer taking a carry. Hands it off. Chance there for Marcelo Montoya to play it. An exciting outside back, utility back, and here's a chance on the edges as well. Remus Smith showing it, taking the tackle eventually, and he'll play it there. In fact, that will be the changeover, remembering there's only 5 tackles per set in the Auckland 9's.
Yeah, Remus Smith, of course, playing for the Dogs last year, scored 2 tries on debut down in Canberra.
An eventful debut as it was, after getting the call up only 7 hours prior to kickoff, with Josh Morris called up for Origin duty as the Sharks make a mistake. Remus Smith, son of Tyron Smith, former player, now player manager. And he made the trip down the Hume Highway, got there in time, came off the bench, scored 2 tries in 20 minutes, coming off the bench against the Raiders. Frawley from dummy half goes to the short side. A chance out wide. Montoya working in the corner against traffic, has lost the ball, and they're going to say it was stripped out. Dogs get a fresh set here.
Sharks will do well to hold them out here. Another set under their belt for the Bulldogs. They go wide. Out to Reynolds.
A little skip on the inside, then away, trying to create some space, and he did exactly that. And it is Remus Smith who grabs the opening try for the Dogs.
Well, they missed that yesterday, the Bulldogs. Just a bit of class with Josh Reynolds being able to drag in 2 defenders and cleverly offload the ball overhead, in and away. Gets in between defenders and just pops it over the top there for Remus Smith.
A nice piece of work by Josh Reynolds to create that little bit of space on the outside. Now we've got time off. The Bulldogs don't have a kicker there. I'm not sure why time has been blown off for them to get a second chance here. I mean, if you haven't got a kicker there, you haven't got a kicker, and it's not that important, obviously, in a dead rubber, as this game is, but curious call there to blow time off by the referee.
They can deny the kick. They don't have to kick. They were back ready to get things going. Kick unsuccessful. Jesse Raymond takes the ball.
And a strong carry as well. There's some attention there. He'll play it eventually, almost back at the halfway line. Short kickoff, certainly in vogue yesterday, and a number of teams getting possession back either by leaping above the defenders or finding touch off the kickoff as Paulo goes through the hands, but comes to Jared Beale again. Plenty of blue and white jumpers in front of him. He heads back infield, then goes back to where he started from, and he'll play it here about 15 out from the Bulldogs line. It was a quick stint for Josh Reynolds, barely 4 minutes. We'll see if he takes to the field from this point on. A lot of talk about the Bulldogs resting both Reynolds and Clemmer yesterday, and now a chance. The Sharks will score through Jesse Raymond. A spectacular dive for the corner, and they've hit back.
Well, mid-season signing for the Sharks last year from the Manly Seagulls, and then they go back down that short side. Jared Beale involved. Jesse Raymond did a good job, like all finishers, gets himself up in the air with a hand out in front carrying the ball, gets it down in the corner.
Hurried conversion attempts, no good. It stays locked at 4 apiece. The NRL defending champs are on the board against the Bulldogs. Plenty of expectation on both clubs this season, of course. The defending champs trying to go back-to-back, as no club has done. And a kick-off goes out on the full. It's tough, not since the Broncos, 92-93, if you don't include 97-98, of course, the Super League era. 25 years almost now that nobody has gone back-to-back.
And you only have to go back through the last 3 years and think of the premiers coming into the next season. All of them look very good early. The Roosters, the Bunnies, the Cowboys. Absolutely. But just couldn't get the job done.
The Bulldogs on the attack, of course, for the Sharks this year. No Ben Barber, no Michael Ennis. Half of their spine missing right there. The quick pass attempted on that right-hand side goes to ground.
Well, Mania Cherrington out here yesterday looked sharp from dummy half. He's the new signing for the Sharks to fill that role of Michael Ennis. They've also got Daniel Mortimer as backup, and they're trying to secure the services of...
Nice pass for Matt Pryor to work it up towards the 40. Cherrington is out there at dummy half as we speak.
James Seguiaro, of course, seeing if he can get a transfer from Leeds after signing a new 3-year deal with them.
This right-hand side, Raymond wrestling there in the tackle, trying to stay in play. Did well to do exactly that. He'll play it here as Cherrington rushes to dummy half. A couple of plays left in this particular set of 6. And they've got it here just outside the 40. The whistle blows, and they'll get 5 more tackles, and Cherrington is off to the races. Fends away from one, shows it, comes back on the inside and met there in a pretty good tackle as well by Lachlan Lewis. 15 away. Can they take the lead here? 9 minutes per half, remembering. Pretty good stepping there by Kurt Kara, was it? He's only 3 or 4 metres out when he plays it here. Cherrington out of dummy half. Almost ducked under the tackle there. Eventually, it was Fualalo who was able to stop him getting to the line. Clemmer came out quickly looking for a big shot. They go wide again. Rahman looking for try number 2, reaches out and scores. Good effort to stay alive in the tackle and put the Sharks in front.
We've got plenty of players that haven't experienced NRL, and they get their chance over at the 9's just to show their coaches that they've got what it takes. I know it's a different format. Jesse Raymond has certainly put his hand up. Thought he played well for the Sharks yesterday. And has scored a double here to put the Sharks in front. Braith, while we're missing some experienced players, the youngsters do get their chance to shine in the 9's.
Yeah, they do, and I think a lot of coaches, as you mentioned, Brenny, use this as a cornerstone and to set up the season for those young players. But one to keep an eye on, Cherrington. I think he's had a good tournament, and the Sharks are trying to get him a lot fitter so he can play 80 minutes for Flanagan, but he's really elusive. He's been good out of dummy half, so keep an eye on him this season.
Good run by Montoya right there. There are massive wraps on Marcelo Montoya. You can see why with a run like that, albeit against a 9-man defensive line.
Well, I think he's a noted try scorer. Scored 18 tries in 19 games last year in the Bulldogs 20s and New South Wales Cup teams. As the halftime siren sounds, Clemmer with the football in hand. He'll want to try and get rid of it.
They get to him. Chris Hyington is there. A bit of a wrestle there also with Malachi Homer. That'll be half-time, and David Clemmer fired the ball to Chris Hyington. The more things change, the more they stay the same, and that was certainly the case right there. The Sharks at the break lead the Bulldogs 8 points to 4.
Character.
I don't think too many people would want to tackle him no matter what facial hair he has or otherwise. David Penner and Jim Dimmick. There's Hasler, I guess, watching on from back home. Would Des be on the couch watching this one?
Oh, I'm sure he would be. Des, morning.
A massive change in the football department in the off-season at the Bulldogs.
Huge
Remarkable,
changes.
really, the way things panned out in the post-season.
Yeah, a lot of staff, back-end staff from Desi's days from Manly that he took across to the Dogs, now not there. I guess the big question mark over the Dogs is what style of football will they play this year when they got the ball in their hands? A, they'll want to hang on to it more than they did last year. That would certainly help.
I think that is the biggest question of any club going into the new season. Of course, the NRL season proper kicks off on the 2nd of March. You'll see every game live on Fox Sports. And, of course, right here in Sky Sports in New Zealand. League fans licking their lips ahead of the new season.
Of course, there's a change in our games too, with a 6 o'clock Friday night game.
And a new 24-hour channel, Fox League. Can't wait for that one to kick off in a couple of weeks' time. For the moment, there's the Sharks in front here of the Bulldogs. 8 points to 4, 9 minutes just under remaining in this one. One of these teams will end with a win, and the loser take a duck egg home with them.
Help! Release now! Step back. Go.
Play it here, 25 metres out. To the short side they come. Paulo gives it away. Daniel Vasquez for the corner. He dives in, it looks okay, and he gets the green lights.
Oh, spectacular stuff, and we've seen plenty of it here from the outside men. Had the Dogs' defence going backwards, shifted the ball through the hands, and then Daniel Vasquez, ball out in front, dives for the corner and gets it down in time. Sharkies out of the front, 12-4, kick unsuccessful. Big moment for Daniel Vasquez.
Well, plenty of players getting a chance this weekend that would be unfamiliar to league watchers. There's a great discrepancy between some of the strengths of some of these squads here. Of course, the Cowboys, well, they have virtually their premiership winning team of 2 years ago here.
And the player that really created that was Kyle Flanagan. who last year was playing SG ball, played a handful of under-20s games. He swept round from the open to the short side and created that extra man. It was just his awareness to play the short side.
And they've managed to get the ball back as well from the restart. Here's Pryor to play it. Cara in there at dummy half, and Clemmer coming up with a shot, perhaps the shot of the weekend right there. What a tackle on Malachi Homer. Here is Cara going past Matt Frawley. Bit of space here for Jared Beale, who'll extend the lead. Good speed to get to the outside, and he makes it 16 points to 4.
Yeah, nice piece of play there from Cara. Flanagan also involved, and then the footwork from Cara just had the Bulldogs defence in a bit of confusion there, and Jared Beale was able to have enough speed to beat his man on the outside, and very quickly the Sharks have put 2 tries on, and at this stage, nice footwork from Kurt Cara. Just gave Jared Beale enough space close to the try line to get it to the in goal. 16-4 at this stage. It's looking like the Dogs will go home. Oh, gee, that's a terrific take. Big body contact there in the air. Sharks get the ball back again from the kickoff.
Remus Smith went up for the ball, but turns out beaten for it, and the Sharks just can't be stopped here at the moment. Handy lead of 12 points. Cara again out of dummy half. Gets up to go once more. Gives it off to Flanagan. Now here's Paulo. Little skip in and away. Beale in a try-hungry mood. Links up with Flanagan, who got hit. And a pretty solid shot right there coming across. It was Lachlan Lewis who squared him up. Good tackle. Paulo. He finds Pryor, who throws a little dummy and then just storms through and made it to the bonus zone. That might seal it already for Cronulla.
Well, we've seen plenty of front rowers so far in the tournament. One off the ruck, throw the dummy and squeeze through the defence themselves. The gaps in the defence a little wider with less players on the field, and we've seen front rowers, Kane Evans, James Tarmo, now Matt Pryor. Evans and Tarmo scoring a couple of tries yesterday. Pryor gets one across for the Sharks. 23-4. Boy, they've just blown the game wide open.
The Bulldogs have barely touched the ball in this second half.
Well, it's 2 kickoffs for the Sharks, so they're going for number 3 now to try and get the ball back. The Bulldogs don't like the 9's, do they?
Well, come across with a weak squad, and they've certainly done that last year. They had 14,000 front rowers in their squad of 18, which is hard to do, but they managed to do it somehow, and it's not exactly conducive to winning 9's rugby league. And again, as we talk about depth of squads, there is a great discrepancy in the theory of what this weekend means to some of the clubs. Obviously, the focus for the majority is on the NRL season ahead, but there are a few, less than a handful perhaps, who figure, well, if we're playing to win. The Cowboys, the Broncos, the Eels in particular have certainly shown that so far this weekend. It would be stunning if one of those 3 doesn't in fact take out the title, but anything can happen, and may well do, as the day progresses here in Auckland. Tyrone Phillips dancing, spinning, got some moves out there on the dance floor here at Eden Park. He'll play it 10 metres out, right in front of the uprights. Goes from Michael Leash, a Frawley short ball. Good tackle right around the legs there. One of the Sharks cutting down Reece Miller. Here's Phillips again. Comes out wider. Smith giving it. Perhaps he didn't need till it came back to him. Did he get it down? They say he didn't.
It was a good stop out the corner here, and it needed to be. Tries to get the ball down. The Sharks' hand denies that.
Ran off
Nice
Tuamunga,
stuff.
so close to scoring there, and when it came back to Remus Smith, he was a chance once again.
Well, it was Sione Katoa that did the work for the Sharks defensively there to keep the ball off the ground.
They've certainly played a lot more direct in this game, the Sharks, and what they did yesterday in that loss to the Panthers in particular. They scored early on against a very weak or inexperienced Penrith team, if you like. Like it would be a comfortable win. Here's Flanagan stepping past David Clemmer. Came out of the line and put the wind up Kyle Flanagan, no question. Now the ball goes to ground. It'll be a knock-on against the Sharks.
Well, Kyle Flanagan could see that the Sharks had the space on the outside. He just couldn't get it to them when he needed to. In the end, threw the pass anyway. Dogs cleaning up and taking advantage of the Sharks' error.
Tualo plays it. Here is Leisha getting out of dummy half. Plenty of defence on this side of the field for the Sharks.
Off him together.
Well, he opened up the middle of the field and his support play was just a bit slow. There's an intercept.
Long ball thrown by Matt Frawley, and the Sharks are going to put an exclamation mark on this particular win. Good performance to get their first points of the competition.
It's always dangerous throwing a long cutout ball when the defensive side is coming at you, and that's certainly the case there. Down that short side, the Sharks moved off the line and were progressing forward.
I'll be cheering as Will Kennedy took that intercept and ran the best part of 80+ metres. He said yesterday, the son of Western Division legend William Bubba Kennedy. I know he's still playing, but he was playing at least a couple of years ago in 2015 at the age of 42 or 43 in top flight rugby league in the country.
I'm sure I had a game against Bubba Kennedy. I can't
at some stage.
Where it was, yeah, at some stage.
Amco Cup.
Could have been.
Leichhardt Oval on a Wednesday night in front of 350.
Could have been. Yeah, the schoolboy game had more people there. They all left after the schoolboy game.
Sometimes that was the case, I guess, towards the end. Would have been Panasonic Cup days by that stage.
I think it was National Panasonic Cup.
Yeah. Couple of seconds left here. It's a big win for the Sharks. They round off their campaign here in Auckland. They'll head back home maybe as soon as this afternoon with a win against the Bulldogs, 28 points to 4. Good effort by the defending NRL champions. The Dogs finish 0-3 and are now, in 4 years of 9's Rugby League, 3 wins and 9 losses. Let's head downstairs to Brave.